What's up guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Sam. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all of the fantasy romance books that I read in November and December. So we're going to start this video off with a bang because I reread Fourth Wing and then I read Iron Flame. So I read Fourth Wing when it first came out and I thought it was just okay. I believe I gave it like 3.5 stars. It wasn't a perfect read for me, but with the release of Iron Flame, I wanted to reread it to maybe just see if, I don't know, I missed things, maybe I would like it better. So I did reread this, and upon my reread, I actually gave it a 4-star. I feel like I was able to sort of let go of all the expectations that I had set going into this the first time, because this was so hyped. So hyped. Everyone was loving it, saying like it's just the best book they've ever read. So I had just a lot of preconceived notions about this book when I first read it, and I was able to just have fun with it and enjoy it for what it is the second time around. So I still do have some issues with this book. I think the pacing is a little weird. I wanted more of the world and less of them like at lunch, less of Violet and like the training sequences. I just wanted more from it. So 4 stars for this one. And then it's just my luck. It's not my luck, but it's just like me, I guess I should say, to like a book that most people don't like. So Iron Flame, I enjoyed the heck out of this book, okay? I am also giving this one 4 stars. I have seen people giving this 2 stars, just absolutely bashing this book. I'm like, for what? For what? This was good. I liked this. This was fun. I feel like this one was definitely more heavy on the fantasy elements, and I think maybe that's why people were getting a little, I don't know, weird about it. They just didn't like it. They wanted more of Xaden and Violet, and I get why people are hating on Violet, but you have to remember, like, her world has been flipped upside down, okay? She's gonna be annoying. She's gonna be insecure because everything around her is changing, and she's trying to go with it. She's come into all of this power now, and she's just figuring the world out again, figuring out how to be in her relationships, just figuring everything out. So she didn't really bother me that much, and the relationship stuff that I know a lot of people complain about, it didn't bother me. I actually enjoyed this book. I liked the pacing of this book. I thought there was more interesting things going on, while there is still some things in here that I feel like definitely could have been cut out. I just overall had a really good time with this book. So yeah, 4 stars for both Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I will definitely continue on with the series. Whereas when I first read Fourth Wing, I was like, I don't know if I will, but I'm definitely going to continue because the way that Iron Flame ended, I need more. Still not like, this is never going to beat ACOTAR for me. It's not the best thought out fantasy world, but I think we've got potential here. I really do. And even like just potential to be like a fun, good time series, you know? Not everything needs to be a literary masterpiece for you to just enjoy it for what it is. And that's what these are for me. So yeah. So the next book that I have to talk about is actually a DNF, and I'm kind of sad about it, but it's a DNF for now. I am going to go back and finish this because I have heard really good things. It just wasn't the right timing, and I think I'm gonna wait until the next book in the series is out so I can kind of binge read this one and then go straight into the next one. So prior to reading this book, I did read the novellas that come before this, which is The Sword and the Scepter. So this is The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. This is the first book in the Mortal Fates series. So in this book, we are following Rook and Soren. Now, Rook is a witch and Soren is a fae. Now, in this world, the witches and the fae despise each other. There's bad history, bad blood. They do not get along at all. And so Soren cannot handle the fact that Rook, who is a witch, is his mate. So at the beginning of this book, he has her captive. She's basically just in a cell in a dungeon, wherever he's keeping her, and he's just being an absolute jerk to her. Like, just a jerk. The reason I DNF'd it at, I think, 38%, there's just wasn't enough happening to me. It was so repetitive. We were stuck in Rook's head for so long. The inner monologue, I'm like, I can't do this right now. I cannot do this right now. I do like Rook's character, and I've heard that the ending does get better. I need to get there, and I need to have a little bit of motivation, which is why I think when book 2 comes out, I'm gonna pick it up, and hopefully maybe by that point there will be a audio, or is there an audio now? I don't know. I'll look it up, but I will be finishing this, just I don't know when. So the next book that I read is Bound and Barbed by Samantha R. Is it Good? Good? I'm not entirely sure. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. So we are following Evelyn and Maddox. Now, Evelyn, her father passed, so she has been living with her aunt and uncle. Her aunt and uncle want her to be just someone that she's not. She's not willing to get married and to conform to what they want her to be. So Evelyn has been pickpocketing people in order to get money, get jewels, whatever she can to sell and have money so she can buy her freedom. She can run away. Well, one day she ends up targeting Maddox, not knowing that Maddox is actually what they call a cova. He is a vampire. Maddox realizes right away that Evelyn is his mate, but Evelyn she's terrified of him because everything that they have been taught about the cova is they're just not good people, you stay away from them. And so she is very hesitant to be around him. But Maddox is like, you're my mate, and I just want to be around you however I can. So he finds little ways to infiltrate her life. And eventually Evelyn does come around, but it takes a little bit. This is definitely slow burn. It is super slow in the plot and super slow with the romance. That's kind of why I gave it 2 stars. I felt like not a lot happened in this book, and there was, much like Crown of Oaths and Curses, there's a lot of inner monologue in here, and I just felt like it weighed down the book so much. And then everything happened in like the last 10% of the book. So didn't love this one. I don't know if I'm going to continue. I might if I hear good things about book 2, but yeah, this one didn't work for me. So the next book that I read is The Winter King by C.L. Wilson. So in this book, we are following Winter and Kamzan. So at the beginning of this book, Winter is hell-bent on revenge. How he is going to get that revenge is he is going to make the king of the Summerlee Kingdom marry off one of his daughters to Winter. Winter will then take that daughter away. But the way that the Summerlee king kind of gets around this, because he has 3 known daughters to the world. That is where Kamzan comes in, because Kamzan, her father, hates her. So he has hid her away her entire life. So that is the daughter that ends up marrying Winter. Winter, when he finds out, he's a little pissed, but they had a run-in in the castle beforehand, so she's been on his mind. So he's not too upset, but he doesn't realize that Kamzan, she wants revenge on her father just as much as Winter. Now there is a marriage contract that Winter has all these stipulations laid out that the Summerlee king has to let his daughter know, prepare her for what is coming. One of them is she has to give him an heir within, I want to say it's 1 year to 2 years, or he's gonna, off with her head. Yeah, you get it. So Winter and Kamzan, they go on their merry little way. There's a bit of like a road trip in here, kind of the one horse, forced proximity trope. And then they get to Winter's kingdom. And that's kind of where the book really slowed down for me. I loved how fast-paced the beginning of this book was, but it just got really slow, really mundane. And towards the end, when things started to pick back up, Winter, all of this like trust and the development that he went through with Kamzan, it's like flipped upside down. He did like a complete like 180. It was like he didn't trust her anymore. He didn't know why she was here. And like Kamzan did nothing to warrant that. Also, the whole "you must give me an heir," that was like dangled over our head, because there were multiple times in this book where we thought she might be pregnant, but she wasn't. And y'all, that is one of my favorite tropes. I love a surprise pregnancy, an accidental pregnancy, whether it was accidental or not. Like, give me a surprise baby, okay? And so I felt cheated out of that. because it doesn't come in. That might be a spoiler. Actually, it's the very end and it's kind of glossed over. So yeah, she does end up getting pregnant, but we don't get the good stuff out of it. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I don't know if I'm going to continue this series. I think maybe these just are a little bit too long for me, but the writing was good. It was super easy to follow. I liked the characters, other than the sort of backtracking that Winter did in this book. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was an enjoyable read. I do definitely recommend the audio if you decide to pick it up, but yeah, 3 stars for this one. So the next book that I read is a very hyped book. I think we all know what this book is about. I don't even know if I need to tell you. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I finally read this book, and I think it was probably days before the second book, Ruthless Vows, came out. And I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Her writing is absolutely stunning. The setting of this book, it's kind of a World War I sort of feel in here. So we have Iris and Roman. Now, Iris is she 18, 19, maybe 20? So it's young adult, but it definitely didn't feel like young adult to me. The characters read a bit older to me. So Iris and Roman are both vying for this position at the newspaper that they are working for. But they're total enemies. They did not get off on the right foot, and Iris tries to avoid Roman pretty much at all costs. Also, in this world, you have 2 gods who have awoken, and they are starting a war with each other. So Iris's brother actually went off to fight in this war under one of the gods, but she hasn't gotten a letter. She doesn't know if he's alive, and I want to say it's been maybe 5 or 6 months. So she has continuously been writing to him on this typewriter that she has. All of a sudden, she does start to get a letter back, but it's not from her brother. She doesn't know who is sending these letters. Just so happens to be Roman Kit, her mortal enemy, so to speak. So that is kind of the premise of this book. I don't want to give too much away. The way that Iris and Roman start to become friends and what Iris goes through in here, I really wasn't expecting it to be this heavy. So check your triggers for death of a parent and alcohol abuse. I have never heard anyone say that those are in here, so just warning you. Iris really goes through it. I really felt for her character, and I loved the way that Roman wanted to take care of her. So the reason that I gave this a 4 star instead of a 5 was because I feel like I didn't fully grasp the gods in this world and why they had come back to life, why they were starting a war, which the war is it's a big part in here, and the gods are a big part in here, and I don't feel like I fully understood. I couldn't wrap my head around what was happening, why it was happening. Still highly recommend, still very much enjoyed it. Iris and Roman, they're adorable, okay? And the writing, stunning. So the last book that I'm going to talk about in this video is A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark. This is book 1 in the Kingdom of Lies series. Y'all, I had a ton of fun with this book. A ton of fun. I gave it a 4 star, but the more that I think about it, I'm leaning more towards like a 4.5, just because I could not put this down. I read it in basically 2 sittings. I enjoyed the heck out of this book. So we are following Priska and Lorien. Now, in this world, when you are an infant, the king will send his king's guard to test to see if you have any magic. If you do, that magic is pulled from you to be given back to you on your 25th birthday. But somehow Priska, our heroine, when the test was given to her, she was able to sort of slip through the cracks. Her magic did not show up to these king's guards. And so she's known her whole life that she is what they call the corrupt. And her mother has told her, you cannot let anyone know about your powers. They will kill you. They will come and they will burn you alive. So she's kept it a secret. She knows that eventually she is going to have to flee the village that she lives in, run away from everyone that she loves in order to stay alive and keep her family alive, because they will murder your family for hiding you. But one day something happens with her friend, and she's trying to help her friend, and her magic comes out. She uses her magic. So she has to flee before she is ready. She is on her journey to where she thinks she can have safety and freedom when she runs into these mercenaries. Lorien just happens to be the head honcho of this group of men that she runs upon. Lorien really wants nothing to do with her at first, but he kind of takes pity on her and is like, okay, I'll let you stay. And when Lorien and his group of mercenaries find out the type of magic that Prisca has, they realize, hey, you can help us with a task that we have, and we'll help you get to safety. And that's all I'm going to tell you about this world, because things get so much more deep. You realize so many things. There's a lot of political intrigue in here. There's a lot of Prisca figuring things out. You know, she's been sheltered in this village for her whole life, and now she's in a kingdom and is learning things that she did not previously know. Like I said, had a ton of fun with this. The pacing in here is pretty much nonstop from the get-go. There is a point like in the middle where things do kind of slow down, but it didn't really hinder my enjoyment at all. And the way that this book ended made me automatically want to pick up book 2. So this author, she's doing something right. Now, I will say that, is this the most unique fantasy romance you're ever going to read? No. Are things predictable? Yes. Is this sort of a very simple fantasy romance at its core? Yeah. But I still enjoyed the heck out of it, okay? I did really love Prisca as a character. I think her character development is really good. She doesn't know a whole lot about how the world works, but she's learning. She's a quick learner, and she's not going to let sort of her inability or her lack of knowledge to keep her from doing things. She's going to do it. And Lorien, he's very grumpy, very much like, this is my task, this is what I'm here for, no one is getting in my way. But the way that he kind of softens for her, she really like weaves her way in there. She doesn't want to, but she does. These two really don't want to like each other, but they do like each other. And again, just a ton of fun in here. If you're looking for a new fantasy romance, pick this one up, see if you like it. The audiobook is on Hoopla, so if you have access to Hoopla, I definitely recommend listening to it because I had a ton of fun. So yeah, this is a new series that I am very much looking forward to continuing in. So yeah, ending this off with a good one. So those are all of the fantasy romances that I read in November and December. If you have made it to this point in the video and you'd like to let me know, leave me a fairy emoji. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.